But let's get started. Welcome to the Trusted Referral Network. We are a network of about 20 people who around the country who focus on providing marketing services to all sorts of businesses, small, medium, large, whole range of industries. We get together twice a month virtually on Zoom on the second and fourth Tuesdays of the month, the second Tuesday at 11 a.m. Eastern, the fourth Tuesday at 5 p.m. We encourage our members to invite guests to mix it up, bring in more, bring in more potential members, of course, but always bring in new ideas, fresh ideas, and make this a vehicle for meeting people who you might not otherwise meet. And I always encourage people to connect, figure out who they want to meet with from this meeting one-on-one at a later time, because that's really where you get to know people. As many of us, well, most of us are in marketing, so we know that, it's not just one touch point, but usually 8 or 9 touch points that are required before you can start developing a relationship with somebody. So this becomes at least a couple of minutes every twice a month where we can reconnect with each other, but our guests, are not as frequent in terms of their attendance. So we have the opportunity. We try to have a showcase 15 minutes usually. I'll open up a timer. And today we didn't have a showcase, but Jaime Schwarz, who I had a call with earlier today, is big into the world of virtual reality, augmented reality, and XR, I guess is the general term, as well as blockchain, and tying it all together in creating what he refers to as parallel worlds. So, merging the real world with the virtual world, or enhancing it, I should say. He'll tell you all about it. I'll put on Jason Ciment is joining. That's great. I'll put on a timer. You should have access to share your screen, Jaime. And I will put on my timer, which will show up in my screen, probably backwards. But take it away. Share some stuff about what you do. You're on mute, though, Jaime.
That happened to me yesterday. I gave a webinar and I forgot to turn on the screen.
There he is. All right, there he is. Okay.
I gave a talk last week, and literally every time I pressed the play button, the screens went off. And then I turned off the play button and the screens came back on. And AV worked the entire time that I gave the talk live without a screen.
By the way, I encourage everybody to put their contact information in the chat, and everybody will download the chat at the end. Take it away, Jaime.
All right, starting over. My name is Jaime Schwarz, and I am the Chief Strategy Officer for Parallel Worlds, which is the world's first spatial transformation company within the digital transformation space. So we focus on the Web3 technologies of XR, which is augmented reality, virtual reality, mixed reality, as well as AI. So a conversational interface, character creation. I'll go through a couple of examples of the context of these kinds of things, and blockchain, which is allowing us to provide an open metaverse. A lot of the things that you see out there that are taking over what we consider, the metaverse, Fortnite, Roblox, those are centralized platforms, which are great. They offer a lot of security, but they also take 30 to 50 to whatever % cut of everything. And you can't take anything that you've bought in there elsewhere. We are entering into a world of digital products, both fully virtual products as well as digital products, those that are physical, but then, of course, mix with a digital twin. And we can't really access the interoperable capabilities of those. Well, Parallel Worlds does. We do this by being a conglomerate of a number of Web3 companies that have come together kind of like a happy meal. You got the best burger, the best fries, the best shake, to offer actual spatial transformation by providing a full reality stack. So what you're seeing in front of us is just our webpage, parallelworlds.us, and you're kind of being given a tour of a jacuzzi showroom. And I'll go through a fuller version of this, but we fully encompass with our full reality stack the ability to provide any kind of Roblox or Fortnite kind of experience, but we anchor it to reality. So we, as in terms of our company, and I'll kind of go to our reality stack here. If you pick the investor relations page, you're going to get a slideshow of kind of what we are as a company. We are fully functioning multiple companies that all have our own P&L, but working together, we're still in fundraise mode to combine our technologies to create a AI world builder. So think Westworld, except no robots. Everything else is completely possible. So we provide a way to, these are the companies. Marked is my company. So I own the world's oldest NFT patent. It's a system and method for identifying virtual products. Anytime you see a digital object that is roaming free, if you want to put a mark of identification on it, so you know that it is exactly what it says it is, once you're outside of Fortnite, once you're outside of Roblox, how do you know the thing is a Gucci purse or a Nike crypto kick or whatever it may be? You need that mark of authentication, because cut and paste, think it's easy to spot a copy in Chinatown does not work the same way when the code is identical. So marked is a way of allowing for not only every object you see to be exactly what it's supposed to be, but allow you to become a co-creator, a prosumer, which is a producer consumer. When you buy something, you'll now be able to add value to it and sell it on. The assembly line never has to end anymore. We are teaching brands, just like they did in Web 2, to allow the comment section to be open. We're teaching them to create products that can be malleable, that you can do things with. Everybody can become a Dapper Dan or their own Air Jordan. So that's marked. EDX is a full digital twin of the Earth. Completely done. Web3 compatible. Think Google Earth or NVIDIA Omniverse, but ours. And able to take any digital twin. So we work with buildings, casinos, hospitals, office spaces, and fully digital twin those companies. That not only means creating a simulation of it, but using IoT technology, Internet of Things technology, to make sure that that digital twin is live. It is fully a twin, a representative 24/7, 365 of the building, which we then allow for infinite parallel worlds to be built on top of. So the same way that New York City owns the top-level domain .nyc and then sells off the different .nycs to others, if you own a building, you should be able to sell infinite augmented realities on top of it, or virtual realities on top of it. But they're all tied to reality. Winnikoff is our digital twin specialist that allows for that to happen. Brand 3D is a 140,000 user platform that is WebGL based, Blender focused, that can create any digital object you need. What you just saw with the jacuzzi, that was Brand 3D. And New York Culture Club is a digital tokenization company. So the supply chain of all the kinds of NFC chips, the blockchain technology that allows for that twinning to happen with actual commerce. So we are a reality craft studio. That means we work with marketers to provide spatial marketing experiences. So if you want to have your products be digitally twinned or have the capabilities of a digital product while still being physical, we simply attach NFC chips to them. I'll go run up downstairs and come back after I'm done talking, but I'll show you some physical objects that we have that have NFCs built into them that allow for that. So we also have a blockchain company, we have an AI company, we have a game engine company, but they all come together to provide the systems and methods for what we do here. So I'll show you the jacuzzi video. I'll show you our digital twin of Seattle. That is obviously not complete, but it has the beginnings of there. Anything else I wanted to show you in here? So here's our full reality stack. Layer 0 with EDX's help, we now have the entire Earth covered on a GIS level, but we also fully update it all the time with aerial footage, which you'll see with the Seattle example. But then we build the actual digital twins that sit on top of that. So this world is fully interoperable. Anybody who wants to build here can take their stuff anywhere else. We are an open platform. And thanks to Mark Technology, anything you buy in a centralized platform, as long as we have a deal with them, you can buy your Gucci purse in Roblox, but that Gucci purse will share its provenance with your Gucci purse that you bought in Fortnite or Decentraland or in reality. So they can all share their provenance and add value. If I buy a really nice person, take it to the Met Gala, that person is worth way, way more because that experience is built into the object. If I go to a concert and I go to multiple locations on the tour dates, I want to build that value into that t-shirt. You can do that now. And then the economy that sits on top of that, a prosumer economy, that layer 2 co-creation ecosystem, anything anybody wants to sell, when they sell it, this is an infinite, as I said, assembly line, meaning that the prosumers that buy it, that co-create, when they sell it on, the brand's getting a cut of that. There's just like, Bored Apes and their whole resell, and that's how they make their money. The same business model, but it's now democratized for everybody. So that is kind of a quick tour of what those things are. And I'll just give you some quick videos of what I was just explaining. Here is Seattle. You should see.
You can essentially copy any physical building
Yes.
or whatever. There's no copyright on the building.
No, so we can do an exterior of a building, which we've done already. That's why it already exists here. So if you can, you see,
It
we've got an
says
aerial shot of
right
Seattle.
there. It is. Okay.
There
Yep.
you go.
So as we're zooming in, we're going from geospatial satellite data to aerial data. I believe, yeah, that's the airport. And you're going to see a airplane show up that is actually a real flight that was happening live during the reporting of this. Then instead of it just being flight data, it is simulated into the experience. There's the plane. You'll see a heat map here that's different population centers and who's where. And then you'll also see buildings that have been twinned that are in the space, as well as those that haven't, that are just sitting Google Maps style. You'll see media here that you could click on. Things can be presented here at the speed of latency. So if you have, the US Open going on, you can then cut to that live. You can show specific places, camera angles, so you can join in. If you have people who are live in an event and they are carrying like those Meta sunglasses or Snap, anything that has a camera built into it, or you want to use your phone, we have a program called Entourage so that you can bring a handful of friends with you. If you want to go to Vegas and 3 of your friends can't come with you for your bachelor party, but 3 can, with everybody's earphones in, you'll be sharing the same audio that's mixed perfectly of the ambient room that's in the casino, the ambient conversation that's happening between the 3 people that are live, and the ambient conversation that's happening with the 3 people who are there virtually, so you can all be there together. You can simulate things. That's an EDX blimp that's not really there, like the plane is. And when you go down even further, I'm going to cut a little quick so we can save some time here.
But just to clarify, so if people are at a rally, for example, you could track all the people at a rally from their phones?
So you can do population modeling. So some of these things can be things like saying, everybody's coming out of the Taylor Swift concert. The Taylor Swift concert's happening in a week. What if we put up a barricade here? How would the population flow differently? We're also able to do predictive population change. So if we all of a sudden notice that a population is starting to move in a specific way, we'll be able to know with 99% accuracy what they'll be doing for the next 5 minutes. And then that slowly drops off and then quickly drops off as we get past the half an hour mark. But that is real-time data that we can provide to event coordinators, police, whatever it may be, smart objects live as you're walking through. There's a hospital right there that can provide you with where's the piping, what's the most common flow of traffic, where you're supposed to be going. It's whatever, the layers that you want to put down. And then of course, think of this like, I've got 30 tabs open on my screen right now. My reality can be whatever I want it to be, and I can switch between it. If I want to be in real reality right now with this kind of augmented detail, I can have this. If I want to see dinosaurs or relive a movie that happened in that space, that your reality would completely change to that. They are interoperable, they are interchangeable, but whoever actually owns that layer is the one in control of it. So you'd be renting the space from whoever actually has it. If you go to like Central Park, which is a public space, hey, put whatever you want there. We're gonna build the 100-acre woods for Winnie the Pooh there, because that IP has expired. So we can just build that out, and then people can buy objects that have zero IP wealth built into them. As you add your own provenance to it, it will gain in wealth. You buy a stormtrooper from Star Wars that doesn't have a backstory, okay, you pay for it. Then you put him on a bunch of adventures. All of a sudden, that stormtrooper is worth more, and maybe you simulate a movie with a bunch of other characters that you've collected and want to do like a fanfic that Disney would sign off on, because they get the kickbacks. Everything's built into the system. The last video I'll show you is that jacuzzi.
Welcome to the virtual jacuzzi flagship store, a digital twin of the original store that you can explore in your web browser. You don't need to download an app or wear a VR headset.
And I'll skip ahead to, why don't we
Or
just...
you can interact with customers at any time.
And add an AI salesperson in. And this can be done with an avatar. This can be done where...
We have even integrated artificial intelligence to provide product advice when you are not available to talk to your customers.
It can be like this, or you can even have the
show
object
me a
themselves
dark
talk.
cabinet color, please?
Of course. How about this charcoal cabinet color?
Can you show me a darker shell?
Sure. How about our midnight shell variant? That has a nice dark tone to it.
And then the one last thing I actually do want to share is, because we're looking at the kind of the metaverses that you've seen before, I really want to show you that we can up the game when it comes to quality. So I'm going to pull up a Bacardi bar that we've designed. And this one is, let me just open that up. I'll just share my full screen. All right, here is a Bacardi bar.
And what does it cost to set up one of the environments for like a store?
It really depends. So when we're talking about, like, we're in talks with some dispensaries in LA that are relatively small and sparse. And it just depends on what you want to do. So if you want to get to this level, it's, more expensive than if you want to just build it out something like what you saw before. But it depends on the environment you're trying to create and what you want to do with it. If you just want to make a showcase that you can interact with. Sorry?
Like a price range, low to high.
So if we're talking about like the jacuzzi, I will give you exact costs for the jacuzzi one, and I'll pass that on if that works for you. And then you can kind of see a baseline. But like, we're talking with a giant casino, and this is ultra high range, but what we're doing for them is a full digital twin. We're creating something between 15 and 40% energy savings. We're allowing them to earn their own carbon credits. Those two things alone allow them to get their savings. They'll be making $750K a year, which will pay for the whole thing. With the digital twin, they're getting their games digitally twinned. We have rights for a lot of casino games. So they can do things like not just play the games, but virtually they can play dice while they're there. We are allowing them to do simulations so they can change around where the things go. We're putting their chips on blockchain. We're building the loyalty clubs so that their casino bits that are out in different places in Vegas, not Vegas, in California, that allow for gambling because they're a tribal casino, become part of that loyalty program. That one is $4.5 million. But they earn that all back within 10 years, and the lines of revenue that are built on top of that will make them see profit off of it within a year and a half.
And I'm guessing that if you bring a $4.5 million deal into Jaime, he's going to give you a nice 5%. I don't know what his referral fee is, but
there are very healthy referral fees here. It really just depends on what you're doing. These also include virtual, so they have deals with stars that can come and like they randomly show up at the casino. Like, Drake will all of a sudden just start, gambling at your casino. We build digital versions of them, but they're marked so they're actually the real person. So that mark is the same POAP, proof of attendance, that they physically have, which means the value of seeing them and saying I actually was with this avatar is way different than you're with, the Justin Bieber avatar that happened to have been made a deal with Meta. There's experiences that because it's tied to reality, because it's tied to real IP of real people, become something that actually has value. I had a conversation with this person. It was their virtual person, but here it is on chain.
Right. So if thank you so much, Jamie. Really fascinating stuff. If anybody would like to learn more about it, obviously reach out to Jamie and think of him when it comes to XR, the blockchain, virtual worlds, anything related to that. He's your man. All right. So appreciate it. I know complete spur of the moment surprised him and did a bang up job. I dropped in the chat the order in which people showed up, more or less. I didn't put Jamie on there because you gave a very full, complete presentation. But if at the end we have a little bit of time, we'll give you the 2 minutes, the courtesy of the 2 minutes in addition to that. I'd love if everybody could go on mute except for the speaker, because I'm going to use the speaker mode. Tell us who you are, what you do, how you can help, what you're looking for, and how to remember you. That last one is key because we've got so much going on in our minds and in our worlds that it's hard to remember everybody who you've met. So if there's something that you can slip into our minds to remember who you are, that's really helpful. John Parsons, by the way, I'm going to do 2 minutes because there's 12 other people. That'll do 25 minutes or so, and that'll take us to like 10 minutes of. John Parsons, take it away.
Thanks, Michael. Hi, John Parsons. The thing to remember me by, is I've already noticed, is the antique on my shelf, which is what started my career. I'm a nonfiction ghostwriter, but my business interests are about production of video. So we produce all different levels of video for all different levels of the sales funnel, awareness videos, social proof, middle of funnel videos. We're very affordable. We have a really sharp production crew that can do animation, a whole series of things. We record, if we do subject footage, we record that remotely, so we don't have to send out a camera crew. I guess the ideal referral to me would be an agency or other marketing person who's stretched thin on resources and they need video content as part of their social campaigns, part of their website marketing. I was fascinated by Jamie's phrase, at the speed of latency. I love that because AR and XR has a huge bandwidth requirement, and video has somewhat less, but still a bandwidth requirement. So we work with clients who have some kind of media exposure, and we really focus on the platforms they're using, because some platforms are better than others at delivering content over narrow bandwidth. I'm sure it's true in the AR side, but it's a big deal because a video that's jerky and not responsive is not going to be effective. So we don't just create the video, we consult with clients on how it's implemented and what platforms to use.
Thank you. And I was hoping that Jamie would be able to zoom in on John's home because he's in the Seattle area, but didn't see that anyway.
No, you missed me, Jamie. we're over in Bainbridge Island, so.
Submit the address up virtually very soon.
All right. I'm going to insert Rajiv. He says he has to leave soon. So sorry, Scott, but I'm going to ask Rajiv if he will do his intro.
Yeah, thank you, Michael. Thank you, Scott. I'll keep it real brief. So basically, I erase anything bad from Google, social, and the internet, because if people see that, they're going to think you're a douche. I'm just telling it like it is. Maybe you're not. Maybe you're an awesome person, an awesome human, but people see that and they think you're a douche, and then they don't want to work with you. And they tell others not to work with you either. So that can absolutely destroy, eradicate, obliterate your business that you've built with your blood, sweat, and tears over the last, how many ever years. And that is a wrong that needs to be righted. And that's why I do what I do, by erasing all that misinformation, that garbage from Google, social, and the internet. So it could be an alleged story that some hater said about you that was picked up by Gawker or Daily Beast or Washington Post or anything like that. Or it could be a bunch of haters flooding your Google My Business or Yelp or any other place with 10, 20 one-star reviews just to throw the scale off. So instead of a 5-star, now you're left with a 1-star review. And again, people look at that and without thinking anymore, they're just thinking, oh, this is a horrible business. I don't want to do business with that. So these are ways in which haters are just trying to ruin your life and ruin your peace of mind. And getting that dealt with is what I do. So if you want to reach out to me, send me a text, 646-249-3561. I put that in the chat. Happy to talk to all of you if I haven't spoken to you recently. Also, small shout out, if you'd like to speak at the United Nations, send me a text as well. I've been beginning to do a lot of conferences at the UN recently. So reach out to me if that's something that you want to do. And again, Michael, I'll leave it there. Thank you again for the opportunity and nice to meet all of you. Have an amazing rest of the day.
Thanks so much, Rajiv. Take care. All right, Scott McKelvey, one of our guests today.
Yeah, thank you for inviting me today. It's my first visit to the group. Scott McKelvey, copywriting and marketing. I write marketing content that creates moments of human connection. Move people emotionally, move people with facts and logic that justify their emotional decisions, and move them to action. That could involve websites, blog articles, case studies, video scripts, press releases, anything related to your marketing strategy that needs to be written. I don't specialize in any particular industry. This week, I'm writing a donor impact report for a hospital foundation, website copy for an executive leadership coach, and a Wikipedia page for a nonprofit. My philosophy is to let the experts be the experts. My job is to tap into your knowledge and passion, capture your voice, and tell your story in a way that matters to your ideal client. Good referrals for me are business owners and marketing directors who need help with the marketing message of their business. People don't get what they do. They know what they say, but they don't know how to say it, and they don't have in-house marketing or in-house writing resources. Those are great referrals for me. Also, other marketing service providers, agencies, website developers, graphic designers, PR firms, printers. These are people who I can partner with on projects on a regular basis. As for something that's memorable about me, this started as a side gig when I was working in radio. I was a radio DJ many years ago, but most of my radio career was spent as a creative director, writing, producing, voicing commercials. So it's kind of an interesting journey from there to where I am now. So that's me, Scott McKelvey, copywriting and marketing. Thanks again for the invite.
For those of you who didn't know that the Shamrock is really an S and an M combined, as is shown in Scott's logo. All right. Thank you so much. Thank you for joining us.
Pleasure.
Scott Lange, tell us what's up and tell us about your new gig.
Well, good morning, everybody. Rajiv, you were supposed to leave early. Glad to see you're still here. So thank you very much, Michael. Welcome back from Italy. Buongiorno. I just, as many of you know, I represent various properties. I was just out to see the Hip Hop International US Dance Championships, and there's the Worlds coming up in Phoenix. I represent a number of different properties, but I'm really proud to say that I just got retained by the Singleton Foundation out in Pasadena, California. They have a mission of financial literacy and entrepreneurship. I mean, basically elevating people's knowledge and capabilities. And they do this through a lot of video work that they do. They have a program called Million Stories, which is on YouTube with their own channel with 1.2 million followers. They do podcasts. They have a very broad array of assets, I'll call them, to educate people and essentially alleviate financial incompetence, help people to run their businesses from financial perspective. And most of their work is snackable video. So these are shorts. They have a program called Million Stories, another one called Groove, which is about goal setting. Slingshot, which is an app. They've gamified the world of to get people business savvy with some a gamification called Venture Valley. They have a program called Fundable, and they also do a CEO prize for entrepreneurship. So this is my new client. I just signed him up like late last week, I guess it was. It feels like yesterday. And I'm very happy about it. And I'm looking to make presentations. Clearly, they're looking for me to bring in partners. They have several. Experian is their biggest partner. And they're very, that's my give is certainly to provide sponsorship advice and guidance to anyone here. And I think, Keith, you might be interested in their content marketing strategy, just to take a look at it, because that's really what they're all about. And my get is any referrals, people that are working on social impact, social responsibility. Example, Clifton Larson Allen, the big accounting firm, I'm talking with their chief culture officer about bringing this in as some type of program they may want to support, as well as JP Morgan Chase. Just getting started. So that's it. And, I'll be happy to introduce people with skills as well here to the Singleton Foundation as they move forward, because they're always asking for, fresh thinking about what they do.
Wonderful. Alan Winnikoff, thank you so much, Scott.
Thank you.
Hi, everybody. Alan Winnikoff, Sales and Winnikoff Communications. Probably heard me say this. We started out 20 years ago as a traditional PR firm, getting people coverage in magazines, newspapers, TV shows. And we still do that. It's amazing that nobody reads magazines or newspapers, and yet clients still want to be in them. So we service them with traditional PR, but we've also had to expand our scope of services over the years. And so social media is at least half of our business now, and we're really good at it. And that's because I have a young staff who's way better at it than me. We do a much broader scope of marketing services we offer them than we ever have. Paid content is also something that we offer. But if we don't offer it, we're always looking for trusted third-party partners that we can bring in to help offer that very broad scope. It helps us bring in more clients. So that's one of the reasons I'm here, to find potential third-party partners that we can work with in a variety of marketing services. What kind of businesses do we work with? We're very broad. We're generalists. We do a lot of media and entertainment. As a matter of fact, next week I am heading to Las Vegas for a licensing expo. We work a lot with clients who are licensing their IP in one form or another. We also work with several attorneys. And as a matter of fact, Jamie, one of our attorneys is an IP attorney. And one of our pitches right now is how to protect your IP in the age of AI. So that somewhat relates to your earlier conversation. So we're very broad. We also have a couple of nonprofits. And if we don't know how to do it, we usually can figure it out. So we'd love to talk to you guys about how we might be able to work together and seek out new business opportunities. And that's it.
Thank you very much, Alan. And Alan is somebody that I know has benefited from the group, has gotten leads and has given leads, very active in referrals.
And I will say that Michael Bendit is a great resource. And if you aren't already a member, you should join.
Thank you. Krista Giannak.
Why do people trust you? I'm Krista Giannak, wise words that matter. Ghostwriter, blogger, and amateur skier who just happens to be blind. My ghostwriting and blogging services, I serve speakers and thought leaders because I love idea people. And I'm looking to have the idea people, basically people who want to build trust. I used to hide from my personal story, whereas now I actually embrace it, speak about it, use it to build trust and to educate people on the importance of personal branding. So I'm always out there looking for speaking opportunities, especially virtual ones, as well as clients, of course. I can enable your clients because I do ghostwriting, blogging services, longer form content. I enable them to reveal the powerful stories that position them to make an impact. Just as I used to hide, now I embrace. I help the clients to find what was their turning point or turning points. What is their powerful knowledge that they can share with the world so that they build that trust that persuades others to buy from them, to buy their ideas. Serving speakers and thought leaders. And today I'm also looking, because I'm a ghostwriter and blogger, so I'm looking for partnerships with people who don't do what I do entirely. Right now, I'm looking to learn more about competitive market research and more about that side to understand where the marketers come in, where I come in. Krista Giannak, why?
Thank you so much. You wise words that matter. You cut off a little bit before you finished. Thank you so much, Krista. Krista's based in Long Island. All right, Rochelle Lisner from New York City.
Well, good morning, close to good afternoon, everyone. It's Rochelle from Dynamic Business Growth, and I always say that it's dynamic business growth and not schlep along business growth. Now, what's going on today? Companies literally, they struggle beyond struggle with speaking about their business in a compelling way. Very often, they are long-winded, boring, too generic, and they speak in their own industry jargon. And my response to that is, let me tell you, I couldn't care less, and so do so many others. I want to know, how do you pull a rabbit out of a hat? So are you storytelling or boring telling? Do you have a story that if I listen to that story, I immediately get a sense of your expertise? I immediately get a sense of what you've done, who you've done it for. I get to see your high level thinking, not the common thing that everybody else is competing with. So recently, I've worked with so many industries. I've got a lot of attorneys, so I'm looking to speak to more attorneys. I love working with family-owned businesses. They have a history that they do not know how to speak about in an effective way so that it creates the credibility. And I don't mean that, my name is John and I'm doing this for 50 years. When you do that, unless you tell me why the 50 years is important, you've positioned yourself like the Flintstones and not the Jetsons. I've been really successful recently with getting people to up their prices because they can focus more on the results of what they're achieving. So again, it's time to tell a dynamic story. Let's have a conversation.
And you're trying to fill a workshop still?
Yeah, I haven't been focusing. I'm looking for attorneys. As I said, I've been doing a lot of attorneys recently. So I'd love to fill a workshop with 5 attorneys from different practice areas. I recently worked with an immigration attorney. He doesn't even recognize himself anymore, the way we've repositioned him. So let's, if somebody has an attorney that they feel that it would be a great fit for, please. And the other thing is, last but not least, Michael, thank you for the introduction to Bruce. I'm going to, touch base with him later.
Wonderful. Okay. Keith Reynolds from Colorado or somewhere on the road in the US, great USA. Where are you now, Scott? Keith.
Yeah, hi. It's nice to see you and nice to be back. I took a bit of a hiatus and I've been doing some R&D. What we realized is that the podcast that I've done now over 50 interviews, close to 60, the workflow that we developed using AI over the last 2 years is the product itself. And so we've created Publio Studio, and we create content from interviews. And I've been doing fireside chats and one-on-one interviews and webinars, creating video, mostly virtually, although I've had some clients send me their video. And I generate the transcript and about 40 pages of content in various formats. And that generates a blog, that generates a YouTube channel, that generates content for your LinkedIn personal branding as well as your company branding. And with 1 half-hour interview, I can generate a month's worth of content across multiple channels. The buzzword's omni-channel. And, Rochelle, you really kind of freed me to talk about my geekness. And not only have I, written white papers and case studies and produced the content part of trade shows in my career. Now it's all putting it virtually. And I spent more than a year, almost 2 years, trying to sell a methodology. And last year I stumbled upon it's the studio experience and the recording, and then turning that recording into thought leadership content is where all the value lies. So for the last several months, I've been turning recordings into content, and we've also signed up as a HubSpot partner. So the idea is connect your podcast audience to your CRM and generate leads.
Cool. And that's is that your mobile office in the background?
I just got back from Phoenix. We saw the Rolling Stones. We camped our way in that through New Mexico, Arizona, Utah. We spent a couple days in Moab seeing the national monuments. And I worked every day from 5 a.m. till 2 in the afternoon. And then we went out and toured. So I didn't miss a beat working last week.
Wow.
And I saw the Stones.
If anybody wants to figure out how to travel and work at the same time, speak to Keith, and obviously Max Headroom. There you go. and content creation through video. Jason Ciment out in Southern California.
Hi there. So I run a marketing agency called Get Visible. Been doing this for almost 20 years, 20 people on the team now. I was a lawyer and an accountant, and just started a business right after law school, learned how to do all this stuff, and then started doing it for other people. So we do the whole thing: websites, search engines, advertising, LinkedIn, and social media. But today I want to announce something else. This is very secretive. There's no website for it, but I met with two guys who are graduates from university who raised seed money, and they built a software platform that mimics you in a browser. Anything you do in a browser, they can basically do. And they're going to launch it's already in beta, but they're launching a LinkedIn, it's like 3-part system. One of them is to do the outreach like the Apollo systems that people know, Apollo and Waloxi and these other things. They do it, it's not detectable because it literally is a browser running on your PC. So they can do outreach and send messages and all of that, and they can respond to messages. That's layer 1. Layer 2 is AI, and they're going to build a series of templates in order to help create responses. But the third thing is the most evil of all, is going to be automatic intelligent commenting. So the sequence will be that you load the system with, let's say, 100 people that you're following and that you want to connect with. It will leave comments on their posts, and then after a couple of weeks and a number of comments, it will then send them a connection request. So the conversion rates will be significantly higher. And on top of it, for your own posts, as the network builds, people will leave comments on your posts, and that will grow your virality inside LinkedIn. So if anybody wants information, they can email me. This is going to be very NDA driven. So there you go.
Very cool. Are you at liberty to share it at some point?
And no, you can email me now. They're already in beta. So if anyone wants to get into a ground floor, I hate using that word, but this is literally like, there's no intention of building a website. This is going to be a very
I mean demo it to like do a showcase here.
Oh, that's a good idea. Sure. I'll do it. You know what? I have a meeting with them this afternoon. I'll email you and we could do a showcase. Good idea.
Sounds good. All right. Our newest renewal member, Zev Gotkin, who was an initial trial member and is now renewed. Join us. Zev, go ahead.
Hey, nice to meet everyone. Zev Gotkin, CEO of ZEV Media. We're a boutique digital marketing agency doing everything from paid ads, that's most of what we do, direct response kind of marketing on platforms like Meta and Google. But we also do the full gamut of websites, SEO, social media, email marketing, etc. And we're getting 10 to 32 times ROAS for our clients. We work with really every vertical, but we're specialized in hospitality, mostly like caterers, event spaces, anyone who does any kind of cooking classes or things like that, fun night out activities, travel, leisure, getting people to sign up, book, inquiries for bridal showers, etc. things like that. We're really focused on growth and outcomes, trackable way. What else? Based in Queens, New York, and one memorable thing, new dad, just had a baby a month ago. Very excited about that. Newest team member. Luckily you don't hear him right now. My give is, I like to at least give 2 introductions to everyone I meet. If they're not exactly someone who's a client for you, there's someone who could probably get you to that person. And I'm very big on making referrals and introductions, and just like to meet as many people as I can. So thank you so much.
Absolutely, and welcome back. All right. Ron Hubsher.
Welcome, everybody. It's great to see everybody. And Jamie, what a great presentation that was. That was really awesome. I'm Ron Hubsher. How many people here are interested in closing more business? Just a show of hands. Closing more business sound good? And how about closing business at a higher than you even quoted for? Suppose you send a proposal out for 100K and you close for 125. Would you like that? Would that be good? So anyway, I run a negotiation and closing company. We work with business-to-business sales forces, and we teach a consistent, repeatable process to close more deals, reduce discounting, in fact, close deals with higher than forecasted end results. Great to see everybody here. Lots of great presentations today. My ideal customer is a business-to-business company. Scott, if you get a chance, let's connect. If you're working with Kaufman Rawson, I know a lot of people over there. Happy to help navigate your way around there. But anyway, anybody who's business-to-business sales, that's what we do. And happy to help anybody if you're working on a deal that you're currently working on. You have any questions on how putting in some negotiations, best practices in it? Happy to help you any way I can.
Right. I am, by the way, Ron, bidding on a project for a disaster recovery company that I believe negotiations will be a big part of it, because they've got a insurance model, right? You pay a premium in order to have access to disaster recovery services. So it's how you structure that, I think, is going to be critical. That's I gotta win the business first, but
we'll give me a call. Happy to share best practices.
All right, wonderful. Did I miss anybody? I know we've got 8 minutes left, and I will go if I haven't missed anybody. I'll put the timer on for me as well. So my name is Michael Bendit, as you know. Besides running this networking group, which is a great way for me and others to connect with other marketing folks. My core business is doing sales representation for about a dozen software development teams. And it's a very broad range, given the fact that it's a dozen teams, a very broad range of capabilities from basic web content management systems. We do a lot of WordPress work. We do a lot of Magento work, but we also do mobile applications. I have a team that's got experience building AI-based applications. I happen to have a team that does 3D modeling. Most of that is stills for interiors, furniture companies, etc. I'm working with a client or a prospect right now who is a commercial plumber, and they have a challenge where they do big jobs, multi-million-dollar jobs. But when they bid on them, they often get specs and drawings that have internal conflicts between them. And they often don't find out about that until after they win, because it's very detailed. And we're looking to build a tool that will read the drawings, compare it to the written specs, and identify the conflicts so that they can avoid those issues in the future. Starting off with we quoted a proof of concept at $6,000, which I was surprised was that cheap, to prove that this can be done or not, right? If my team says it can't be done or we can't do it, then it ends there, right? But it's a inexpensive way to test the idea. And my job is to help my clients sort of navigate the complexities of software development so that they don't waste a lot of money. And spend the money where it makes sense. Would love to talk to anybody who has a software development project, web project, mobile project, or and even if it's just to have a conversation. So we have about 5 more minutes. I want to, first of all, now might be a good time to download the chat. If you go to the chat window, open that up, and now it's what, at the top right, there's the 3 dots. If you click that, it'll hit save chat. It'll save to your Zoom folder. Scott, Jamie, if you're interested in joining, Jason, if you're interested in rejoining, please let me know. I will be happy to give you a. It looks like Scott has to leave. Be happy to give you a rundown of what that's all about. It's basically that we have a 3-month trial, and then it's $360 a year for what most people get as a standard membership. Any questions, Jason?
No, I got to run. I just wanted to say goodbye.
You got to run. Saying goodbye. Thank you so much, and looking forward to your showcase.
Thank you.
Good
All
to
right.
see you, Jason.
Comments, questions, a few more minutes. Anybody want to bring something up?
Michael, can I just put a plug in for you?
Oh,
For
always.
those who are considering joining, is anybody a prospective member here? I know I see a lot of people who are already members.
Scott McKelvey is new, and Jamie is potential. Everybody else is a member at this point.
I'm just going to put a quick plug in for Michael, man. Just for $360 to be part of Michael's network, it's like your best investment you'll ever do. I mean, this is just like a no-brainer. Even if he never showed up to another meeting, just knowing Michael, 360 and getting a network, it's a no-brainer. So,
Thank you.
There you go.
Really appreciate it.
I'll second that. Michael's one of those people that you can say, "Oh, I know a guy."
I know a guy. That's
I know
I
a
hope,
We just
right.
make this a love fest and everybody.
Yeah, we
spend
can make a love
next-
fest. I mean, I
next
do
3
believe
minutes.
there's lots of opportunities for folks to, because most of us have a niche, provide niche services, whether it's 1, 2, 3 different services in the marketing world. Most of our clients need more than that, and to have a network of folks that you can rely on, be it for subcontracting or just a referral, is a great way to share business opportunities.
I can make a plug for myself on this, Michael. In between us talking this morning and this call now, I talked to the person who you referred me to, and he's meeting my co-founder for the other company that I'm the CXO for, Team Flow Institute, and we're going to have another conversation very soon. So
yeah, if anybody remembers, Terry Proto was a French guy, Black French guy, who is in the world of AR, VR resources. He was at a meeting several months ago, and I was able to find his name via my OneNote with words like French XR. I can't remember everybody's name, but
that was your second referral. The first one, Mark Iorio.
Oh, Mark Iorio. Okay,
Yeah,
you've spoken with Mark.
he has a very
Okay.
similar company to Team Flow Institute, and we talked this morning. But yes,
Yeah. All right. Cool.
Look at him go.
Wonderful.
Well, I
all right,
appreciate
everybody.
the opportunity to come back. When I started Publio after in the depths of the pandemic, it was, I had a methodology I'd written a book about, but what I learned is it's really hard to sell a methodology. And now I have a product, and all of a sudden the pipeline's opening up, and I thought it was time to come back and join the network. So Michael, I'm looking forward to working with you, and it's good to see everybody.
Good to see you all. All right. Thanks, everybody. Have a
everybody.
wonderful
Thanks,
afternoon. And we'll speak again next meeting, 28th, 5 p.m. Eastern.
Thanks, everybody.
Take care.